Friday. We're hot. We're live. Tilt your head up for me so I can see if I can see your beautiful face and mug. All right. That's good enough.
That'll do.
All right. Fish and Toast, episode 15.
What's going on?
How we doing today?
Doing good.
Besides
Minus the traffic.
truck nuts on fire.
Yeah, truck nuts.
How's Indianapolis?
I wish I was there, you know.
Hey, tickets were only $12, I saw at one point.
Yeah, they were. I mean, the flight problem. The flight.
What's a flight? I mean, I can't imagine. Obviously, supply and demand, but I mean,
I know.
Flight to
I know
Indianapolis is charging a pretty penny.
Kyle went to the Purdue game. It was
the regular season. Purdue.
Yes,
I was like, Purdue wasn't in any.
He said that the flight was ridiculous, like $400 or so, like one way.
Well, I can imagine like middle of the season because you have to fly into Indianapolis to get to Purdue.
I'm not sure exactly where you fly into for that, but
where's Purdue again? What town? West Lafayette.
Yep,
Indiana. So
I would assume that they would have another.
Well, I don't know. You got me on that one, but
I don't know that very well. Geography.
So you weren't in Indianapolis.
I wasn't, but I felt like I was. Just the excitement.
The dugout was just lit. Just insane. Just the atmosphere. It almost felt like it was Lucas Oil Stadium.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it looks like Purdue flying into Indianapolis would be the most efficient way to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, not too far from Indy. So,
well, then, yeah. Makes sense.
So, no Indianapolis trip for you, but Rose Bowl?
I did think about that, but I saw the ticket there like $1,000.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
And there's some that are like $300, almost $400, but like you're up in the nosebleeds off to the side. It's not even worth it at that point.
Where do you even buy those tickets at?
SeatGeek or
Vivid Seats.
Yeah, just everyone has bought them up and they're just reselling them for higher.
I've seen one for $280 right now.
Well, yeah, you can get those, but where is that?
I mean, it's at an end zone, row 75.
Yeah, I mean,
you're there.
Yeah, you're there, but you're not seeing the game.
What are you talking about? What, you got a giant standing in front of you? Oh, this is a 10.0 fantastic deal. Section 26, behind one of the end zones, 55.
Get your binoculars out.
Row 55. Can I get a view of this seat, please? Yeah, I'd like to get to the Rose Bowl one day.
I would love to go to the Rose Bowl, but
one day, maybe next year.
Ooh,
be right back there, baby.
I like that.
Playoffs though. Playoffs.
How are the Canby Classic?
Could have won some games. Could have gone a little bit better.
It did not go well.
And let's just say it wasn't a fruitful endeavor for the Newburgh Tigers 6th grade basketball team at the Canby Cougar Classic. Yeah, got some things to work on. Rebounding, go up with two hands. Kind of generate some offense.
So you're talking about just key fundamentals?
Yeah. Apparently, last night coach had him working on nothing but on the rebounding, which is key. So.
Yeah, no one really wants to do the hard work.
Oh, no.
The dirty work.
No, exactly. I was making Fisher run suicides till he threw up. Had
him on the line. Again.
Yeah.
No more, Dad.
Yeah, but it was not as fruitful of an endeavor as it was for the Ducks going out to Indianapolis. Conference championship week. I mean, it went almost as good as I expected. I mean, the morning slate with Arizona State and Iowa State. I mean, dear God, that game was over in the second quarter.
I mean, they were pretty much blowouts to start the day.
That was just.
And going back to Friday, those were also pretty much blowouts. I was shocked the Army came out and punched Lane in the mouth. That made me think that their coach Summerall was going to be leaving at some point. And take a job somewhere else. That hasn't come out.
Pat?
No.
Is Pat Summerall still alive?
I don't know. But Boise State taking care of business.
Pat Summerall died in 2013.
Oh God, R.I.P. Genty, good game. 209 yards,
just a little bit. And I believe still to this day, the Portland State Vikings have still held him to the least amount of yards in a single game.
Yeah, well, he stopped playing after
that's
2 possessions. I feel like
he wanted to go in. He was asking coach to go in, and they told him no. 127. The next closest to that was 128 in the first matchup against UNLV.
Oof.
So credit to the Portland State Vikings. You gave up 11.5 yards per carry, but you held them to the least amount of rush yards in a single game this year. How about that? Blow the horn. It's official. Well, actually, it's not official yet because who are they going up against in the? Well,
we don't know yet.
Yeah, they have the bye week. That's right.
Yeah, we do not know yet.
So he could get bottled up. There could be a Portland State Vikings-esque performance out there by whoever they end up playing.
Yeah.
The Friday games are very much meh. Boise State stopped scoring after the first half, but, I mean, they were making sure UNLV wasn't doing jack shit.
And old Rich Rod ran it up on Western Kentucky. So,
future West Virginia head coach Rich Rod.
Possibly they could be getting the band back together.
Yeah, what's Pat White doing? Have him be the offensive coordinator.
Ooh, I like that.
Why not? Hit up Tavon also while you're at it.
But yeah, the Duck game, it pretty much went opposite of what I thought it was going to be, meaning that
me too.
I thought our defense was going to be the one that carrying us, and our offense might have a tough time against that Penn State defense. And we came out that first possession, ran the ball 3 straight times and we came out and just basically said we're going to punch you in the face from the start. And I love that from Will Stein. And we really got the run game going early. I think our first carry went 8 yards or something like that. And I was like, all right, keep this going, push them around a little bit.
Mixing up the first couple drives with Jordan James and Noah Whittington, getting a little double dose. I like how Whittington was more into the fold of this game. I mean, he's been in the fold all season, but I like how they were kind of giving him looks at both of them early on.
I think he kind of got in the groove, you know, and he was having success when they were kind of riding him for a little bit, which was good to see for him, and also just had the success he was having, you might as well keep running him, you know.
But yeah, I mean, 3 straight touchdowns to start the game on offense.
Did not give up a single sack to Abdul Carter, which was huge.
Yeah.
Or even really a pressure. I think I thought Josh Connerly had the top PFF grade as far as offensive lineman in that game. And Tez Johnson, the MVP.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, he had what?
181.
And how much of that was in the first half, it seemed like?
Yeah, 11 receptions, 181 yards, and a touchdown. He was pretty much unstoppable. Whenever they wanted to get him the ball, he just had a different burst to him, and no one could keep up, which we have seen pretty much with everyone we played this year, and we give Tez the ball. It's just kind of like, let him do his thing. The one thing that he does do that bothers me is he catches the ball, and then he'll run, and then he'll just fall over because he doesn't want to get hit.
But school of Tyler Lockett, baby.
I understand what he's doing, and he's staying healthy, which I appreciate. But still, it's like
prolong that career.
He tiptoes, just runs out of bounds. And you're like, yeah, I would like a few more yards, but I understand.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett is the king of that. Like,
I'm
not going to fight for extra yardage. Everybody else can do that. I'm going to not take any.
I'm not going to die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And fair enough.
That was probably, and it's funny that, coming off the Washington game, I was kind of saying how the offense is, to me, just like shaky at times and inconsistent. That was probably the best offensive performance I've seen all season.
I think that's definitely Dylan Gabriel's best game.
Yeah. I mean,
4 touchdown passes for him. He plays really good in the big games. The biggest games we had, I think Ohio State, was it Michigan, this game, and did we have another ranked one where we played? I think he's 11-1 to touchdowns and interceptions. So, like, when we need him to play really well, he plays and steps up and plays well. He has a great game plan, and I think he's a good big game quarterback, which we need right now.
And a Heisman finalist.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Colorado that's bitching and moaning about that they're not included on it.
Yeah. Everyone's going to complain about something, but
yeah, it was, again, I just think opponent-wise, and how just the offense looked throughout the entire game. I mean, they hit a little bit of a wall in the second half, but it wasn't even like that detrimental. My favorite part of the game was, I believe it was 38-30, and the Ducks started with the ball in the fourth quarter. And that drive to then go up 45-30.
Yeah.
Granted, they ended up giving the ball back, but that drive to me was like, we're going to go out and win this fucking game.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a, let's just, try and play it safe. They passed the ball. They ran the ball. I mean, in that drive alone, and they took a good amount of time off the clock during that drive as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was also like, you can't stop us. You're not going to be able to stop us. And we're going to take out at least half of the time of the quarter here. And then, again, I know that they gave the ball back in that second to last drive, but, I mean, the interception by Nico Reed.
Oh.
Dude.
That was such a nice play on the wall. Clean. He played it perfect. And did you see, like, on Instagram, they were, like, posting different, like, photos of that? And the team kept commenting, flu game. Apparently, like half of our
sick or something.
Apparently, half of our defense was sick during that game.
That would explain the 37 points.
Yeah, well, definitely a little scary, but
they had some of those bready bees before the game.
Oh God, yeah, the stomachs and knots.
Those bread bites, bread bites will do it to you.
But that was a huge play. That Kenyon Sadiq hurdle was sick.
Oh yeah,
to start the game.
What a tone setter.
It's kind of like he's 2 catches, 2 touchdowns in the game, and it's like, why do you go away from that guy? He's just such a mismatch out there.
Give him 8 touchdowns.
You're right. Give him just more touches.
Just feed him the rock over and over.
I mean, we clearly came out and said we were going to run the shit out of the ball because we had almost 35 carries, and Tez got a majority of the catches, and Evan Stewart didn't have 1 catch. I was like, kind of surprised he wasn't in the game plan, but they did put their best corner on him all night, which was kind of confusing when he was Tez was feasting. It's like, all right, if you're going to take him away, we'll just throw it to 15.
Yeah, right. Maybe they thought that Tez wasn't going to be as much of a concern.
Healthy?
Yeah,
or something because he hadn't been doing a whole lot. Yeah. But Ferguson had a big catch on 4th down on the 4th and 2. People are pissed because they're like, "Oh, did he push off?" I kept putting up the clip. It was mainly Ohio State fans putting up the clip of Jeremiah Smith at the end when he got called for the offensive pass interference against us.
So they want Penn State to win?
No, yeah. I mean, they're just pissed that we didn't get called on something, and they did.
Jesus. That was like 3 months ago.
I know. People, they hold them to receipts, man. They don't give it up. But I just thought that we grinded that game out, and definitely Dylan Gabriel's best game as a Duck. I think so. And if he can keep playing like that, I think our offense is in great shape.
Yeah. No, again, I think it was the best offensive performance as far as coming out strong, not going 3 and out or stalling out in your first drive or in your first couple of drives or settling for 3 straight touchdowns. That was one of the best starts of the season, I feel like, offensively.
Red zone. We got it done finally in the red zone.
Yeah, it was just a great performance. And quite honestly, I mean, as I texted you guys, it just feels fucking good, right?
Yeah.
Like the 2020, anything that happened in 2020 seemingly has an asterisk in the sports world. And that COVID year where Pac-12 played 6 games?
Yeah.
It just nothing.
Pac-12 champs, but everyone puts asterisks on it,
Well, and I also remember there was some deal about Washington or USC not getting in because of tiebreakers or something like that. So it just felt kind of like, were we even playing the team that we were supposed to play? I can't remember what the full situation was, but
yeah,
it just felt hollow in a sense. And so the last real conference championship was 2019. And so waiting 5 years for this, a legit conference championship, and then it being the Big Ten championship in your first year, like calling your shot from early in the season, putting a giant fucking inflatable duck in the river in Indianapolis, going back up.
We're mighty different.
Yeah, 4 months later, and then actually pulling it off. Like, it just fucking awesome, dude.
And the only team to beat was it 4 top 25 ranked teams, like in the season.
Like current ranked top 25 teams?
Yeah. And at the time, too, because I think Illinois is ranked right now.
But
if they're not, then they were when we beat them.
They were, but looking back on the schedule, I mean, Boise State wasn't ranked when we played them.
No, but now that's we're the only team to beat 3 of the teams in the playoff right now.
That's true. Yeah.
Did you happen to see yesterday Bryce Betcher win the Burles Award?
The walk-on award?
Yeah.
I didn't hear. I saw that I saw a post saying that it was the watch tonight as they announced the award, and literally when I saw that, I was like, well, he's gonna win that.
Yeah, right. Like, there's no.
I don't even know. I don't even know what other walk-ons out there in the country were, as good as him. I was like,
leading their team in tackles. Their team in tackles.
The dude was a fucking animal this year.
Yeah, so, that was cool to see.
Yeah,
rewarded for that.
I mean, it's been a great season. Great way to cap off, I guess, regular season pay with the Big Ten conference, but fucking A, man, it's just gonna be more and more nerve-wracking now. You get the bye week, but dear God,
we got 3 weeks to wait now, and it's a long time to get healthy. Long time to get better, work on the fundamentals, and try to stay sharp for the time being, and then play. Hopefully, you get 3 really good teams, no matter which way you shake it, because everyone left right now is a good team.
Who would you rather play out of Tennessee and Ohio State? I'll tell you, I would rather play Tennessee. I want them to beat an SEC team in the next round. I want them to play as many great teams as possible this season. So it's just like
there's leave no doubt.
Yeah, and also just like we beat. You could say at the end of the year, it's like we beat Ohio State, we beat Penn State, we beat Michigan, we beat Boise State, we beat Tennessee. Like you can just check off all these.
We beat Texas.
Yeah,
like
by the end of this run, you'd say like we took care of that team, we took care of that team. I mean, beating Ohio State twice would be pretty fucking awesome as well. But the whole idea of it's tough to beat a team twice. And Ohio State will be licking their chops, but to the possibility of that rematch. But also, they were just doing that a couple weeks ago, where they were looking forward and trying to get to the Big Ten championship and get that rematch against the Ducks, and they fucked up and lost to Michigan at home.
I mean, I could see it again because Tennessee's about the same team as Michigan, except for
better offense.
A little bit. Nico's really struggled this year, but
it is a better offense. But again, like when your bar is Michigan, that's a low bar to clear.
Well, I mean, Tennessee's D line is comparable. Like they got first round draft picks on that line, and their DNs are better. Like I would say, or at least Pierce is better. I think they have a tough time running the ball again on that team. So it could be a low scoring match, but at the same time, Ohio State lost a couple linemen right now. They're weak. They're not as strong up front. It was already a problem for them coming into the season.
Ohio State is a 7.5 point.
I know. There's some weird lines out there for these games. Of course, I'm going to be pulling from Indiana, over Notre Dame.
And that's sick that we get Indiana, Notre Dame.
Yeah. Like Battle of the State right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Hoosier State.
Gosh, I'm trying to think of what tweet or who tweeted it out or what, but like someone put up all the matchups in the first round and like how many times they've happened or when was the last time that they happened, and that like how rare some of these matchups are. Like Texas Clemson's only happened twice.
Yeah.
SMU Penn State has happened. Maybe I don't know if it's ever happened. God damn it. It's killing me who tweeted that out because I saw that and it was just like, this is pretty fucking cool. Like seeing these matchups because they're so unique. And that's what I kind of like about the conference realignment as well, is like we're seeing these matchups and these games and these
that we never get to see.
Yeah, facing against each other for the first time.
And we get to see Dilly Dilly.
Dude.
Here. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Cam Scataboo.
Their finish and just their season, like that's one of the best stories in college football this year.
The craziest turnaround, picked to finish last.
Well, do you want to guess
16th?
What their odds were at the start of the year to win?
Oh, I don't even have a clue. It's got to be so freaking high.
Plus 10,000.
Oh my god!
To win the conference before the season.
Oh, I wonder what it was to get to the playoff.
Oh dear God!
Yeah, not even just So,
who do you think's odds were worse?
ASU
over Boise State.
Oh, 100%. Because Arizona State
because everybody going into the season, people were already kind of thinking like, well, there's got to be a group of 5 team that Boise State's got a good chance of being one of those teams.
I saw the preseason vote for ASU, and they got laughed by a lot. Like no one gave them any chance. And then when your season win total's at 4.5, you're not even supposed to make a bowl.
We're not even supposed to be here.
Yeah, basically, they just went on a run and they lost their best wide receiver, and somehow Xavier Guillory came up huge in that game for him. And then obviously Cam putting the team on his back.
Dude, that guy's a fucking animal. That was, again, that game was over in the second quarter.
I think their defense was more impressive to me. They held Iowa State to pretty much nothing in that first half. 10 points, and then came out 9 in the second half. Pretty rough if their safety gets suspended for that targeting call they called.
Oh, yeah.
In the third quarter, Dillingham said that was his last series, last play, really. And before he was going to pull the starters in the third. And he got that hit, and now he's suspended for the first half of the game, which he's definitely their best safety.
So let's look at the first round again as far as the matchup. So we got Texas versus Clemson, and Clemson just getting in by the hairs on their chinny chin.
Was it a 56-yarder for the freshman?
Yeah. And after, how much time was left on the clock for them to even put it in field goal position?
17 fourth quarter points from SMU to tie that up, and then
and again, just playing in the hypothetical game, if SMU doesn't make a comeback at all and they end up losing by 21 or 20 plus points, do you think they put Alabama in over them?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, I think if this game is not close like that, if they don't come back, then Alabama's in.
So then making that comeback last minute.
Oh, it saved their season.
Last quarter was able to extend their season.
Yeah, and they put a ton of weight on these championship games, these conference championship games, which I understand because if you're in a conference championship game, you're one of the best teams in your conference. But they also, that was only, their second loss?
Yeah.
And they barely lost by a field goal in the last second. So, yeah, I see why they put them in.
And I know they didn't play them, but more importantly, they didn't lose to Oklahoma 24-3.
That's true. And Alabama's one of their wins that was their big win was LSU, and you look back on LSU and you're like, LSU is trash. They were really not good.
Yeah. This is what I love about Reddit. I'm trying to find the tweet I was talking about, those matchups. And someone brought up, with their loss to Arizona State today, Iowa State has still never won a conference championship since Albania gained independence from the Ottoman, Ottoman Empire in 19.
That's so ridiculous.
I love the historical context tying it in. That's what we need more of is sports stats tied into historical notations. Like this team,
more Albania.
This team won their first league title since this country invaded this other country, or this prime minister was assassinated in 1943. But yeah, I mean SMU, I wanted them to get in. I felt like they deserved to get in. When it got revealed and it showed SMU getting in on the ESPN coverage, I couldn't believe they actually did it. And
I was happy they finally left out a fucking SEC team.
Yes, no, I mean, I was happy too because they did what was right.
Yeah,
and they did what was like people hate the whole.
Nick Saban was pissed. You could tell.
And they hate, some people hate the whole most deserving thing. It's like, well, they did deserve it because they only had one regular season loss.
Yeah,
and Alabama had 3 regular. Like, you can't complain when you have 3 regular season losses, 2 of those to 500 teams or worse.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, they had a fun season this year, but they were still they were good compared to Vanderbilt standards.
Yeah, they were still a good team.
Yeah, but they were still middle of the road in the SEC, not in the bottom half. And then Oklahoma was one of the worst teams in the SEC this year, bar none.
You just can't have those slip ups if you're going to be in one of the 12 spots. No. It just doesn't work like that.
So you got, SMU losing to Clemson, but Clemson gets in. And quite frankly, if Clemson doesn't win that game and SMU does, then Alabama probably gets in because you had to include that extra ACC team in there. So Clemson kind of fucked Alabama there, but, got to give it to the conference champions. So,
and that probably the other best game of the day, that Georgia-Texas game.
Yes, no, it was.
I mean, it was kind of sloppy.
Yes, thank you. I was literally just took the words right out of my mouth.
Kind of sloppy, but
a lot of drops on offense and defense, missed field goals. Like, there was part of me halfway through that game, and I was like, so much for the SEC being the best conference because these guys, both these teams are kind of playing like shit right now.
Well, again, it was just like Georgia, they had the drops.
He did. Yes.
Arian Smith, that guy can't hold on the ball. He's fast. Yeah, but they have to do so many swing routes and handing the ball to Etienne, and then they're lucky that he was healthy, and then Carson Beck gets hurt.
See, and this is where I think Georgia should have been left out of the playoff because you have an injured quarterback now, right?
I was waiting for someone.
The precedent
waiting for someone to say that.
Yeah, it was last year, right? You lost your.
But no, we're in the 12 team this year. It's totally different.
We can't believe you're as good as what was out on the field.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, sorry, Georgia. You're not allowed.
Yeah, that was terrible for Carson Beck. You feel bad for that guy, but
he's got a hot girlfriend. He'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll help him. But Gunnar Stockton coming in and leading the charge for them at the end. Still am not totally scared of Georgia's offense.
No.
They don't have that many playmakers or people who are catching the ball. And
I think Trevor Etienne, he's good, but he is not his brother, and he is not a running back that Georgia is used to. Georgia, I mean, for God's sakes, Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
I mean, you're used to having just an absolute dude back there. And unless for some reason he just goes off in the quarterfinals and the semi and shows that
he's going to stay healthy too.
Yeah, very true there.
He does have 3 weeks now to kind of recover, but yeah, he hasn't shown to be able to stay healthy for 4 weeks straight. So we'll see. And then I don't know about you, but I have some Quinn Ewers. When I watch him, you could totally tell that even one of the camera angles they brought back that they showed to Sarkisian, he was like, that's zone. He cannot read between man and zone, or he's not processing quick enough. You could clearly see they're dropping to zone, and he thought it was man who lobbed the ball over to Georgia's defender, could have caught the ball and went right in his hand and dropped right out. It was like he has a couple of those where he has a really tough time reading, and then he's just not mobile right now because of his hurt ankle.
Right. Yep.
They showed that brace. Do you see those new braces they have?
No.
On the broadcast of.
Oh, I did. Yes.
Yeah, they're supposed to help you come back from ankle injury quicker, and you can run easier with these.
It's like a lineman knee brace, but for your ankle.
Yeah, but it fits in your shoe area. Like you can put it. So we'll see what he does.
What a flip from how this season started for him. Like he was probably the Heisman favorite going into like week 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And now it's like the dude can't seemingly do anything for this offense, for this Texas offense. Like it was a shaky performance, but they're going to ride with him until the wheels fall off.
You got to.
Yeah. But it's going to, I mean, God, this Texas Clemson matchup in the first round, this one to me is probably the most like perplexing as far as who's going to win that, because it's like, do you really trust Texas? And Clemson, I mean, look what they've just done recently.
Like, what's the over-under on this game? The under seems like.
Oh, that's probably a good play. I mean, I don't blame you on that. The number that they put on it is 51.5. Texas is an 11-point favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, there's part of me that just looking at that instinctively, take Clemson to cover the 11.
Yeah, well, it is tough because that seems so easy, because Clemson, when they play good teams, they're not very good. Like didn't they get beat up by Miami? Like, because Sark will be able to scheme some stuff up, especially with this.
I was going to say, I don't think they played Miami this year. Clemson did not play Miami.
Okay, then yeah,
but they lost to South Carolina.
South Carolina's a good team.
Got beat up by Georgia. They lost to Louisville at home, which still to me is one of the weirdest losses from a team I've seen this year.
I just don't know if Clemson has enough firepower on that team but it will bring it back to the days you see when Quinn Ewers and Klubnik played each other in the Texas State Finals, South Carroll and Westlake.
No.
Yeah, so
classic Texas matchup.
And Klubnik beat Ewers.
I did not. Wasn't locked in on Texas high school football at that time, but
it's all right.
The only Texas football I know is Mike Winchell and Boobie. And
the Permian Panthers.
Yeah. I got a cat named Panther. I got a dog named Mojo.
Yeah.
Oh, Panthers.
That's
the biggest spread of all 4 of those games. But like, to me, Notre Dame, Indiana, what I think is going to happen is in that game is similar to Indiana, Ohio State, just talent. Notre Dame has a talent discrepancy, Jimmy's and Joe's, where, Indiana, great season. You're here, you made it. But I just think that Notre Dame is going to make.
I think Ohio State has a better offense than Notre Dame, though.
Ohio State has a better offense than Notre Dame?
Yeah.
You're probably right on that.
Riley Leonard is very squirrely at times, and he can pretty much just run. But, I mean, and the Notre Dame pass catchers don't scare me.
Passing, 101st in passing, Notre Dame is in
that exactly
10th in rushing the ball.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all they do.
But their defense is
defense is really good.
Really good, yeah.
Look who they played since Texas A&M.
Well, they lost to Northern Illinois.
Yes.
Close game against Purdue, 66-7.
No, they just have a bunch of blowouts on there because they played a bunch of bad teams.
I mean, really, Louisville, that was a close one. I mean, Georgia Tech wasn't bad this year. Navy, Army, this USC. I mean, you're right. The whole strength of schedule argument with them is.
But people say that same thing about Indiana, too. Like, oh, they didn't play anyone. They only played one good team, and it was Ohio State, and they lost.
Well, and that's why, I mean, that's also why they didn't make the Big Ten championship is their opponent's record compared to Penn State's is what was the tiebreaker there.
Kurt Cignetti, he is a coach that I would trust more in this kind of a game
than Marcus Freeman.
Yes.
I hear you on that.
And I think I've been listening to all of his pressers, of course.
Oh, dude. Just falling asleep to him?
No, I'm locked in, and
jerking it to him.
He has me ready to run through a wall. And it seems like he's got a lot of stuff ironed out from that loss, and he said they've been doing walkthroughs over that loss and to get ready already for Notre Dame. He didn't know who they were going to play, but he's already been preparing for Notre Dame. So
I would love Indiana to win that. That would be fucking awesome to have Notre Dame get upset in the first round of the playoffs by a in-state quote unquote rival. I know they don't play as much than they should, but see if Indiana is able to beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame, dude, straight into my veins, that would be fucking awesome. That's also like, I hope we don't get chalk. I hope we get one upset, and I hope it's not Clemson over Texas.
I agree.
Like, I want to see SMU or Indiana get a dub in that first round. Like Tennessee, Ohio State, I don't really care for either of them. Like, I'd rather play Tennessee. Beating Ohio State the second time would be great for Oregon. But again, to me, that's just, the lesser of two evils between those two teams.
Yeah. I mean, what out of that first round, what is the one upset that you think that is most likely? Is it the Clemson Texas?
Clemson I think Texas? So, yeah.
Which is weird because it's the biggest spread.
I know that, but I just like what I'm trying to go for here is like talent. What kind of recruits, what kind of players do you have? And to me, like Clemson, yeah, I guess a 3-loss season is a down year, but they still recruit at a high level. They still have good players. And that's what I'm worried about with Indiana is like when they go up against teams at like Notre Dame, Ohio State that are able to get 4-star, 5-star guys whenever they want, seemingly. Mm-hmm. That's what makes me nervous. And that's why I think like Clemson keep it close against Texas, especially if Quinn Ewers is not able to play it nearly as well as he was at the beginning of the season and how he's looked recently too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he can really slang the ball when he does, but he makes some boneheaded decisions.
And I do like Clemson's defense. I know they kind of gacked it towards the end of SMU, but I mean, I remember earlier in the season, like Georgia wasn't really doing shit against them until the second half of that game.
That's true.
And they've had some decent performances throughout the year defensively. That I don't know. I just think that the talent disparity between Texas and Clemson is not nearly as large as it is for Notre Dame, Indiana, for Penn State, SMU.
Yeah.
That Tennessee Ohio State game I think is going to be a pretty close one. But again, that's your 8-9. So how much of an upset is Tennessee over Ohio State?
Yeah, no, I mean, at this point, it's just two good teams going against each other, and it is what it is there. Yeah, it sucks that we have to wait another week for this, but
you un-American piece of shit, you don't want to watch Army Navy, huh?
I, of course, do, but
hashtag Tim hates the troops.
I'm just excited to watch these games, so.
But not excited for Army Navy. Okay,
I already said I'm excited for Army Navy.
No, you've made your feelings known. Move out of the country, bro.
It should be a good one too.
You don't like it, you can get out.
It should be a good one.
Kind of random note though. Do we have all the bowl matchups?
Yeah, they should all be out.
I will say that it's great that we have the college football playoff and everything, but it does take a little bit of the luster out of bowl season.
Yeah.
So does, the transfer portal and all that. Like bowl season doesn't really have that same machismo as that oomph as years
anymore.
Past.
Yeah.
But I do like the ancillary weird bowl games that are happening that you usually would not care about. I question it, like the RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl. That's a classic down there. Been trying to catch that one every year for the last 10, 15. I remember one year watching that with Benny G, DH, over at, I think it was Hinesley's house, actually, and we were just blasted, and it was just a battle. I believe it was the Raging Cajuns versus, God, I can't remember who it was, but there was like 40 points scored in the fourth quarter. Just back and forth.
You love to see that.
No defense being played. It was fantastic. And now, the RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl. That might be my favorite random bowl game. Because usually you see the Raging Cajun in there or Louisiana Tech. So it's you got some Louisiana pride some in that game. Is there a Bahamas Bowl this year? Are they not going to the Bahamas anymore?
They probably shouldn't. There's a Pop-Tarts Bowl, though.
Oh, I know about the Pop-Tart. The sacrifice of the Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
They put into the giant toaster. I'm not seeing the Bahamas Bowl. That's a disappointment. Did you ever read or see the stories about the Bahamas Bowl?
What do they usually say about them?
There was like a Reddit post from a few years ago because they went to the Bahamas Bowl. It was like a 3-year run, a 4-year run. I think they maybe stopped going once COVID hit.
Bahamas.
But dude, there was someone. Wait, hold on. Do we get a Bahamas Bowl this year? I think we might. Buffalo at Liberty, January 4th. Are you kidding me? Well, I know where I'm going to be January 4th. I'm going to be at Thomas A.
That's
Robinson
a late one.
National Stadium, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wow.
8 a.m. kick. Our time, obviously. Buffalo, Liberty.
Do you have your baseball show tonight?
I do. Okay. Big show tonight. Juan Soto.
Yep.
Big contract. I don't know if you've seen the memes and the videos coming out of dads forcing their sons to get out and play catch and start playing baseball.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
It's like me to my son after I seen the Juan Soto contract.
He's making $6,000 an hour for the next 15 years.
Me to my 2-year-old after seeing the contract, throwing a glove into his crib. Let me find this real quick for you because a couple years ago, there was I think they were related to someone for Ohio or UAB or something. Yeah, it was Ohio playing UAB. And it was like their brother or someone was in the game. So that's the only reason why you would probably go to that bowl is if you're a family member. Or if you just so happen to be at the Bahamas at the time of the game. But this was 7 years ago. So this was 2017, the Bahamas Bowl. But this guy, he posted on Reddit and he said, we went to the Bahamas to see Ohio play UAB. Here's a short list of things we've done here at the game so far. Brought beer right into the stadium. The locals at the gate didn't even ask to check tickets. One of them took a sip of my beer. We walked all the way around the stadium until we reached a fenced-off area. A Royal Bahamas Defense Force guard said we should check behind the fence because he didn't know what was back there. Upon walking past the fence, we ended up in the Ohio locker room. No questions asked.
No way. Just no security.
People are constantly walking on the athletic track around the field and chugging beer. The security forces down there just keep laughing and high-fiving everyone. One of the soldiers keeps hugging random fans. There's a native family in front of me literally braiding each other's hair. They told me they have no clue about how football works. They just want to have a good time. One of them offered to braid my hair. My hair is 3 inches long. We were doing a T-shirt toss. One of the Bahamian families here straight up jumped 3 rows down onto a group of fans just to grab a shirt. They ended up getting 2. A drunk fan just walked onto the sideline and high-fived a player. He then high-fived a Royal Bahamian Defense Force soldier when walking back. The soldier couldn't stop laughing.
Just chaos.
There's like 20 entrances to the stadium, and only like 10 of them are guarded. Literally anyone can walk in. They have one. This is great. They have one working scoreboard, and instead of showing the clock, it's the ESPN feed, so you can barely see the score and the clock on the bottom.
Oh my! Just the lowest funded bowl.
Yeah, whoever is in charge of the music can't decide the volume. He tried playing Believer and adjusted the volume up and down around 4 times before giving up. There hasn't been music since.
Just gave up.
Yeah, and then someone else who was there was like, "Oh, I'm here too, and I can verify this is all 100% true." And also to add, just people in all unrelated football jerseys. Someone wearing a DeMarcus Ware jersey. A Gronk, a Tom Brady jersey, and of course a Cristiano Ronaldo jersey.
Oh yeah, they're always there.
Yeah, had to walk 10 minutes to the complete other side of the stadium because no one knew where the bathrooms were. We had tickets at will call because my little brother plays for Ohio, but the line was too long, so we just went up to the gate, beers in hand, along with another bag of 6 Bud Lights for $12. That's a good deal. Told the security we've already been in. And they let all 6 of us in right in without checking anything. Oh no, yeah, we're good.
Brada, everything's good, Brada. Come on in.
We already come in. We've already been in here. The entertainment on the outskirts of the stadium, right next to concessions, includes archery. I saw a child as small as 4 getting help aiming an actual bow and arrow at a target 20 feet away. The play the play signalers for Ohio are all wearing Hawaiian shirts on the sideline at the Bahamas Bowl. They played Sandstorm 3 times in a row at the beginning of the game. And I was worried that the only song that they had until the volume issues started, as the original poster occurred, mentioned. So
chaos.
Some of the Ohio players on the sideline were wearing bucket hats and sunglasses. Attendance is max 2,000 people. This is why I want to go to the
Bahamas Bowl.
Yeah, I remember reading this.
They want you to come to the Bahamas Bowl too.
I love
it's a party.
Yes, every year, every bowl season, we get to this point. I come back to this post and read it, just to remind me that how great the Bahamas
I need to
Bowl
go.
is. Yes, and I hope. I don't know if things have gotten more, if security has tightened up since 2017. But I hope it is just as much of a shit show at the Bahamas Bowl now than it was in 2017. But glad to see they're still there.
Yeah, glad to see they're still doing it. They haven't given up. Hopefully they worked on that sound system since then.
And they have an actual scoreboard instead of just using the ESPN.
Yeah, hopefully they get that scoreboard working.
Oh God, it sucks that Liberty's going to be there. That's unfortunate. Nobody likes Liberty, but Buffalo Liberty, Bahamas Bowl, 8 a.m. January 4th. Catch the fever.
All right, we'll be tuning in.
Yeah, I mean, are there any, I guess, notable teams that playing in bowl games that we care about? I mean,
oh no, I have a quick coaching carousel update for you.
Rich Rod, he took the contract, huh?
I don't know yet, but
Bill Belichick,
his
400-page manifesto.
Close, I think.
His 400-page manifesto.
Yeah,
for North Carolina.
App State fired John Clark. They're now taking South Carolina's OC, Dowell Loggins, the old NFL. I think he was the Titans OC at one point.
Kenny Loggins?
Dowell Loggins.
Son of Kenny?
Sad day, Mike New got fired at Ball State.
You hate to see it.
Central Florida firing Gus Malzahn, bringing back Scott Frost.
We'll
see how that works.
Wait, they're bringing back Scott Frost?
Scott Frost is the new coach at UCF.
Wow.
Bringing him back.
You serious right now?
Yeah.
You serious, Clark?
Jim McElwain, I think, retired. So Central Michigan's getting rid of him.
Wow, what is all from Grace? What is
Charlotte hired Biff Hoagie. We know that. And they hired Matt Campion, Ohio's Tim Albing. For some reason, he left the job at Ohio, which he just won the MAC, and now is going to be Charlotte's head coach.
Was he the head coach at Ohio?
Yes.
That's kind of a weird move.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Going from Ohio to Charlotte.
You had that thing humming, and you decided to go to Charlotte, where it's going to, I guess it could tick up there.
What the hell conference is Charlotte even in? The Charlotte Miners, correct?
Yes. Yes.
The Charlotte 49ers. Basically a minor.
FAU fired Tom Herman. Got Zach Kitley.
Tom Herman.
Tom Herman. And they hired Zach Kitley, the youngest coach now in football.
What, 32?
Yes.
Wow,
33.
That makes us feel like fucking losers.
Yeah. And he's the OC for Texas Tech last year. Mike McIntyre got fired at FIU. Willie Simmons is the new coach now.
Wait, Mike. Okay, I was thinking of
Mike McIntyre, the old Buffs coach.
That Mike McIntyre?
I think so.
I don't think it's the same Mike McIntyre.
Okay, different one.
Yeah, I immediately Googled that when you said. I was like, wait.
I don't know how many Mike McIntyres there are though, like that. So that's why I was assuming.
Well, the former. Wait, is it the same Mike McIntyre? Holy shit!
Built the same.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What? Oh, you know who I'm thinking of? I mean, you were absolutely right. That is the former Buffs coach. I was thinking of Dan Hawkins, former Buffs coach.
What?
I don't know why. When you said his name, I had Dan Hawkins in my mind, like his face.
Oh,
and so I was like, "There's no way he is still coaching."
No, he's not.
He was coaching in Japan, the last I heard.
Fresno State was on an interim head coach, so they hired Matt Entz, the USC linebacker and co-DC. He was the NDSU, North Dakota State,
right,
head coach for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Kennesaw fired Brian Bohannon.
Another head coach? They fired the interim head coach?
Yeah, well, they fired both of them. Chandler Burks was the interim. He went 1-2, and Brian Bohannon got fired before that, 1-8.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I remember Kennesaw State firing their coach.
Yeah, Bohannon
this year. Yeah,
and then they are hiring Jerry Mack, not the Jerry Mack from Oregon.
That's Joey Mack.
Oh, that's right,
Joey Mack. Yeah, what a good career move that would have been.
Oh yeah,
Ducks play-by-play caller for basketball and sideline reporter to college coach, just like that. By the way, Dan Hawkins definitely not coaching.
We started Dan Hawkins.
He actually, believe it or not, he started his head coaching career at Willamette. 1993.
Wow.
Led Willamette to a 40-11-1 record in 5 seasons, including an appearance in the Division II National Championship in his final season.
Well, good for Dan Hawkins.
He is now the director of player and staff development at Idaho State.
Oh, the Bengals.
Yeah, and it wasn't Japan that he was coaching. He was coaching in Germany. Or Sweden, excuse me. Karlstad Crusaders. He was the OC over there, and then he was the OC for the Vienna Vikings in Austria. What a career path!
Yeah, that's interesting.
From Willamette to Boise State to Colorado to coaching in Europe, and now you're back in Idaho State. He was the UC Davis coach for a little bit too.
He's been all over the place.
Wow, good for Dan Hawkins.
So we got Marshall. They did not renew Charles Huff's contract after Charles Huff just won the Sun Belt Championship and went 10-3 this year. So Charles Huff's leaving Marshall and is now taking the Southern Miss job, where they fired Will Hall earlier this year. Bronco Mendenhall he left New Mexico, so New Mexico has a job opening, and Bronco Mendenhall is now going to be the Utah State head coach.
Ah, well, you're making that move to the Pac-12.
Yes, that's right. Also, North Carolina's searching for a coach. Ohio is now searching for a coach. Just this, Ryan Walters getting fired, and now we got Barry Odom, the UNLV coach, taking over at Purdue.
I saw that.
So
Rashad, my co-host on Football Sunday, he was crushed. We were watching the college football playoff reveal, and nothing was happening. And then he just throws his arms up in despair, and I'm like, "What's your deal?" And I was like, "Oh, I know what you saw." And it was Odom leaving UNLV to go to Purdue.
Did he like UNLV?
I still have to get the story because he also went to Western, so I don't know if he went to UNLV for a couple of years and then he left and came back home and went to Western Oregon.
Okay.
I need to figure out the timeline of when Rashad Taylor.
You don't know if he's devastated about Barry Odom or pumped?
Oh, he was. Yeah,
okay.
He was devastated. He was crushed to see that he was leaving, especially after the year UNLV just had. So
Stan Drayton's fired from Temple. Probably a good idea, but
rightfully so. Temple
hires terrible. Casey Keeler, the old Sam Houston State coach this year. Casey Keeler.
I love the way that you say that, as if I'm like, oh my god!
I would have stayed at Sam Houston. I feel like Temple is just a dumpster fire, and they get no financial backing.
Sam Houston kicking off they're not kicking off the bowl season, but they are in the that's right, the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. It all comes back around full circle.
Tulsa fires Kevin Wilson, hires Trey Lamb. Not exactly sure who that is. UNLV looking for a coach now that Barry Odom left. And West Virginia fired Neil Brown and probably hired Rich Rod. I thought it might be Andy Kudelnicki, but
do we think UNC is really going to hire Bill Belichick?
I think there's a good chance. I think in the what is that contract stipulation that they had to hire his son to be head coach after he's done.
Really?
I heard there was some because he's going to bring him over as DC from taking from Washington.
Yeah, no, we're good, Bill.
Yeah, and then they're going to be like, he has to
be a non-starter right away.
That has to be in the contract.
I think we're.
Well, why do you think that shit's not getting done already?
Yeah, it's like if we're just gonna redact that part out of your.
But there's your coaching carousel update.
More to come.
Yes, much more to come.
Oh,
really.
Yeah.
And the portal just opened as well, so.
The portal, a good way to try and track and see what's going to happen there is where are the players' girlfriends currently attending school?
Yes, that's very true.
That is a good first guess that you can usually make.
Either where are their hometowns or where are their girlfriends?
Yes.
So those are two things where they leave home, they want to come back.
So I'm trying to look. I believe it was 2011 RNL Carrier Bowl, Louisiana Lafayette versus San Diego State. That's definitely what that was. That game was lit. And it wasn't 40 points in the fourth quarter. It was 26. But I think there was missed extra points. There's controversy. I mean, it was how much this? I'm on the wiki page. Prior to a 55-yard field goal attempt by the Cajuns with 4 seconds to go, an official called a 5-yard illegal stemming penalty against the Aztecs.
You can't do that.
To set up the Cajuns' 50-yard game-winning field goal.
The stemming penalty, you don't see those over there.
Well, we talked about how clipping was
it was out of style.
Clipping back in the day. I mean, when's the last time an illegal stemming has been called?
Yeah, it's usually just like disconcerting signals now.
Yeah. Which is a greatly worded penalty name.
Yeah.
Disconcerting signals.
And that's sort of stemming because that messes with the offense, which is crazy.
Following the game, Aztecs coach Rocky Long said it was a phantom call, claiming that no one was moving on the Aztecs.
Rocky Long, the San Diego State DC at one point.
Head coach.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I mean, they had some good years under Rocky Long. I remember that.
Maybe that's why they just had a really good defense during that time.
I think was it Rashad Penny was there when he was coaching? Yeah. You know what we need to do sometime is we need to play the old where did this guy go to school or where did this guy coach game?
Oh yeah.
I'll do it to you because I'm sure that you would be much better than me. But that's always a fun game.
That is a fun game. Well, we're about to have a week or two without a game. I guess.
You and the disrespect to our troops. I can't believe it, dude.
We got one damn game, Joe.
I cannot believe it.
One damn game is in the morning. We got nothing else.
What are you gonna say?
I guess we can watch the FCS playoffs.
What are you gonna say next to disrespect our country and our troops, huh?
Who you got in the game?
What, Army Navy?
Yeah.
Oh, give me Army.
Yeah.
Give me Army.
They still don't know if Navy quarterback Horvath is going to be
also my cousin
starting or playing, I guess.
My cousin's in the Army, so I got to go for Army.
Okay, fair enough.
Not those ninny Navy.
Yeah,
no, absolutely not. Bryson Daly going to have an absolute day. Run for more yards than passing. Probably, I don't know what, $150, 200 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. It sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds like him and what, Kanye Uda.
Give me 175 rushing, 3 tutties, and then give me another 125 passing with 2 touchdowns there. 5 touchdown performance.
Or was it Kanye, whatever you want to call him? He's over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns this year.
How much do the tickets go for that? I know you have to put in like the order. Like you have to.
Oh, I'm sure it's like expensive
months ahead of time.
Yeah.
How much do you think tickets go for Army Navy? Like 300, 500?
Probably around there.
Let's see here. Let's see if.
I would think so.
It doesn't look so that bad. I mean,
maybe it's like respectable troop prices.
Yeah, and also I can't.
You get the veterans discount.
I don't know if they're doing that. They're like, yeah,
what?
I don't care when you served or what you did. I was on the front lines, damn it.
Are you kidding me?
Right now they're saying, what is it on SeatGeek on the secondhand market? You can snag a ticket for $192.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, you're up there. And it's one of the end zone seats, so but you're up there, that's for sure. But if you want to be in that lower bowl, say you want a sideline ticket in the lower bowl, the 100 section, you're spending at least $525.
Oof.
Yeah,
it's for the troops though.
Yeah, I don't think anybody on this reseller market's giving you a discount for your service.
Total opened up at 41.5 down to 38.5. Of course, you're gonna have those service academy unders.
Where is this being played at? Oh, this is being played in DC this year.
What? I thought it was Philly.
I don't know what's happening. Who is winning?
Northwest Stadium. Where the fuck's that?
That's in Landover, Maryland. It's being played at the Washington Commanders Stadium.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. So NFL.
Yeah.
With 4 minutes left to go.
Jump over there. It was a good week.
Yeah, maybe we jump on either NFL Wednesday night or Thursday night or something like that.
Yeah, maybe a Thursday or something.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Should be an interesting week. I've already started looking at some of the games. This is a big week. Big week of matchups.
Yeah.
A lot of implications playoffs wise in this one.
Yeah, a lot of bad teams last week too. Hey, by the way, I'm just gonna throw this in before we're done. That Vikings Falcons over that I was talking about, smack. Vikings almost covered it themselves.
Yeah, someone might have bet the under.
What?
Yeah,
I told you.
I know you did. I was like, you know what? I'm going with the gut. I'm going with the feeling here. It was looking good to start.
And then I was about to text you. I was about to be like, hey, did you freaking bet the over on Seattle, Arizona like we talked about?
No.
After that under? What happened to everything we talked about?
Well, I kind of learned this Sunday is that I need to stick to my guns earlier in the week. I ended up going Cardinals to cover, and that didn't work out either.
I mean, I don't hate that, but I liked the over bet because I played the over and the over in that Vikings too.
It wasn't a great week. It wasn't. JoJo did not have a good week by any means. I'm trying to think. The Bucks hit.
I played a bunch of overs, which was nice.
The Bucks hit.
Yeah, they did.
My Saints covering was going to hit, and then they decided to give up a late bullshit touchdown to the Giants. I can't believe that.
Oh, the NFL is so silly sometimes.
And then the Dolphins, I had them at 6.5. They win by 6. I mean, it was
in overtime.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw where that one was going. They tied it late, and I was like, well, they're going to go to overtime, and this is over. And so
the Jags win late.
No, I stayed away from the Jags. Maybe I should have bet on the Jags this time. Yeah.
When you got Mac Jones, that's when you need.
Yeah, so
we'll talk more about it.
Yeah, I wasn't a happy camper on Sunday night. That's for sure. So, all right, dude. Appreciate you as always.
Yep. Same.
Episode 15 in the bag. College football. We'll get some NFL later in the week.
All right.
Peace.